Hello, YouTube. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to lose weight ASAP and fast. So, no time wasted. The first point is create a deficit. When I use this point, the first analogy I like to always use is imagine your body is a vehicle. And in this vehicle, the tiny little boxes represent food. So it simply means that every single time this vehicle has load on it, it simply means that the vehicle is going to be heavy. If the vehicle has load and it does not move anywhere, it has load, it doesn't move anywhere, it's going to be heavy. If the vehicle has load, but it moves a little bit, it means that the vehicle could still be light. Why is this important? The reason is, so that simply means that car heavy equals food plus no movement. Car light equals food plus movement. Let's keep it very, very, very simple. You don't need to start doing, let's keep the intermittent fasting right now. Let's keep the caloric deficit. Let's keep no carbs. Let's keep no fat. All you literally have to do, your diet could remain the exact same. All you have to do will be what? Move. When you move more every single time, you start creating this, the magic word, the deficit. A lot of times it's used in the fitness space, create a caloric deficit. If you can create a deficit of any form by moving more, your diet could stay the same, you can move more. So let's say you are averaging around less than 1K steps. I literally have a friend who used to average around 1K steps. All he had to do was keep his diet the same way and start moving more. Bump that steps up to around like 5K steps, 8K steps. Now to even create even more of a deficit, if you can drop down the food, plus move more. Ooh, shee! Literally, you now create even more deficit. If you leave anything from this video, create a deficit. This is the magic word. The second point would be to lose weight, would be train, to shape. Now, when I use this example, imagine two people. Let's look at first Alex. So Alex moves more, move, plus no train. Alex has understood creating a deficit. But however, this is the prime formula to actually become mushy. You become soft. Meke. You don't want that. So now, be more like Joey. Let's look at Joey. What does Joey do? I like Joey really. Joey moves more. Plus, he trains. Yes. So if you can move more, now you're moving more. You're starting to create that deficit. The next thing you have to do is train. If you can train to start sculpting your body, imagine that you have the ability, the power rests within you to start sculpting your shoulders, to start sculpting the biceps, start sculpting that chest. That's literally all you have to do. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just train to shape and stick with it consistently. All right, we go to the next point. Diet. Or fuel. Now, remember, I still told you about the vehicle analogy. Your body is a vehicle. It needs to run on something. And the reason why diet is so important is, I realized this one thing. The macros like carbs, carbohydrates, proteins, fat. These things, these primary things will determine how you really look. That's the reason why it's macro. Macro means it's big in determining how your body looks like. And to keep this very simple and straightforward, all you really would have to do would be this. Alright, let's get your body weight. My body weight right now should be around 80, let me say 82. Let me say 82 kilograms. Convert that to pounds, that's around, I think 180 pounds. 180 pounds, 82 kilograms, 180 pounds. This is the amount of protein. Let me say a range from around 130 to around 200 grams of protein. So if you can start, now you're creating a deficit, you're moving more. Now you're training to sculpt those individual muscle groups. You're like, Joey, you understand that you can't just move more and not train, because you're gonna what? Be soft. You don't want to be soft over here. Now, what you really then have to do is add the diet parts. If you can find a way on how to track your diet and hit around this sweet spot, so you take your own weights. When you take your own weights, convert it to pounds, and that number will give you a range. That range is the amount of protein you should eat on a day-to-day basis. If you can consistently stick with this, the remaining things could be filled with decent carbs. And one of the reasons why I personally really like eating protein, it's not even a, oh, you're a bodybuilder type of thing. One reason is simply because it keeps you fuller for longer. Like, I know you've been in a situation where you've probably had an Oreo in the morning, and now 30 minutes later, you're thinking of chugging another, maybe an ice cream. 15 minutes later, you're probably thinking, oh, maybe I'm in the mood for a Coke. If you actually start eating more protein, you tend to realize one simple thing. You are fuller for longer. It's sustained, there's energy source, and it's longer. That's one of the reasons why I'll tell you, start incorporating protein. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to point 4. Point 4 would be make it fun. So I read this book, Atomic Habits, and one of the things that actually struck me was make the habit attractive. Because the moment you can make the hard things become easy, jackpot! How do you make it fun? So I'll tell you a story. So I had this friend who was probably averaging around less than 1K steps every single day. So what I told him, he came over to mine, and what I told him was, yo bro, download the Steps app. He downloaded the Steps app. When he downloaded the Steps app, I think he started seeing my steps around 8K, 9K at the moment. And before I know it, I started seeing like before like 4 o'clock, what would usually happen is by 4 p.m. my guy has probably less than 1K steps. Before 10 p.m. he's taking it to 8K, 9K steps. If you can actually find people who are within the same, let's say you're in a group of people and you guys are trying to lose weight. Okay, let's download an app. Let's start moving more. Let's create that deficit. When we start moving more, let's see who is going to actually beat who today, every single day. Let's see who is going to actually come on top. And that's how you start making the habit even fun. If you can even add a person who you can train with, it doesn't always have to be that complicated. You can literally like trick your brain actually into doing the hard things. And what you should do is, let's say your body weight is, I'll use myself, your body weight is 82 kilograms. You should try and aim to lose around 0.5 kg to 1 kg. So you should try and aim around losing within the sweet spot of your body weight every single week. So by the time you can see, like, let's say you're dropping, so a sustainable weight loss is going to be like 1 to 2 kg every single month. A sustainable weight loss would be within the sweet spot. Understand that you are doing a lot. I can assure you are doing a lot. Hey! Alright, now the 5th point would be adjust. Plus, don't lose your mind. So now you have finally started losing weight. I know. If you're implementing these steps, you most likely have started losing weight. However, imagine your body is still a paid worker. So imagine I hire you watching this video. When I hire you watching this video and I'm giving you like 30K USD a month, you're going to be so excited. You'll be like, yo, you'll be excited. So that's your body. You're excited to always to lose weight. You're motivated. Let's say a month passed, 3 months passed. Start getting less excited. Why? Because probably you're starting to get a little bit, okay, now, bro, it's 30K. I've been earning 30K for over 3 months. So imagine now that that's your body as well. So the moment you start dropping weight, the first thing is it's going to be happening relatively faster. At one point, you get to a plateau. When you get to that plateau, you have to adjust. So let's say you were averaging around 8K steps. At that moment, you have to create even more of a deficit. When you create even more of that deficit, it simply means that you have to move even more. So you have to increase it around 10K steps. When you move or you increase around 10K steps, your food, probably you were eating this much of rice with good amount of protein. Please put the protein. Now let's say you are eating your carbs and everything, making sure that you are still adding your protein. You start reducing the portion just a little bit. So that's what you have to do. You have to adjust. And I feel like this step is the one that is not flogged enough. Don't lose your mind. Losing weight is more of even a mental battle than even a physical one. Because I know that at certain times you'll be looking at yourself in the mirror and you realize that I'm not losing weight. It feels like your effort is going into nothing. If you're sustainably losing weight within this range, look relatively slow. However, I want you to know that your body is like a seed. Every single time you're watering it, every single time, the efforts, all you need to do will be focusing on the inputs. I literally said this in one of my other videos. You have to win the daily tiny battles. Those daily tiny battles will define your future. The daily tiny pain will define your future. Are you going to let the pain of every single day committing to these things define you? Or are you going to let it break you? That's a decision you have to make. And all these things literally that I've spoken about today is to create a system. And this simply means save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. If you can follow this literal step to create a deficit, move more. Your body is a vehicle. Don't just eat and treat it like a lazy car. When you eat food, try and move. Go for a little walk. Train to shape. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. You can start with push-ups. You can start with squats. You can start with pull-ups. Just doing those 3 would hit all your full body groups. The next thing you have to then do will be fuel your body right. The diet is so important. Aim for. So get your weight, convert it to pounds. Whatever you get in pounds, take a range from the lowest to the highest. When you take that range, that's the range of protein you should eat. Next thing is make it fun. Find your friends and make it fun. Find out who's gonna get more steps on a day-to-day basis. Literally. Also find a friend who also does the other one. So like he trains to shape, he diets to fuel. Now the next and a very important point is make sure you adjust. You adjust when the body is starting to adjust to all the deficits you are creating. You have to reduce the calories even more. Don't forget, it's a slow process. I know it's a slow process, but quitting won't make it faster. And I know. I trust that the person who's even showing up for this video, the fact that you're watching this video alone, you're already on your first way. You're already on the journey to actually lose weight. You're already on the journey to build that confidence. You're already on the journey to make yourself better. And I can assure you, I'm proud. Like, I'm genuinely proud. So that's the video for the day, doggy. That's the video. Literally, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next one. Stay locked in.